short little disclaimer. Every time I turn my head this way, look what happens. Yeah, I'm not happy about it, but I'm not gonna reshoot this video. Sorry, y'all. Hello. Hi everyone, it's me, Jess. If it's your first time stopping by my channel, welcome. And you know, if you're a regular subscriber, welcome back. Hope you're all doing well. It is very spring-like today in Montreal, which is highly deceiving. It can be highly deceiving when this happens. Everybody gets out their summer flip-flops and then puts away the winter hats and the winter gloves and then the parkas, and then the week after it always snows. So I was packing up my parka today and my hats today, and I was thinking maybe I should leave one of these in the closet just in case. Truly that's what happens. I'm not making this up. This happens every I swear, every year. My sister's birthday is at the end of April, and it always snows around her birthday. I always have to remind myself of that. So cheers. I'm having a glass of rosé, enjoying the spring weather, and I'm gonna walk you through, talk you through a book haul. I have acquired quite a few books in the last couple of months, and I'm actually considering a book ban for, well, I can't do a book ban for the entire summer because we are traveling, fingers crossed, we're traveling to the UK to visit family, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna wanna buy some books while I'm over there. Pretty darn sure. Although, you know, I'll have to take an empty suitcase in order to be able to carry them all in my suitcase. Okay, so I'm very excited to go through some of these. I ordered actually from the book depository, which I've never done before, but I just really wanted the UK copy. Actually, it's not in my pile. It should be part of this book haul because I did order it from the book depository at the same time as a few of these other books. But I'm already halfway through, and that is, and I talked about it in my TBR for April, and that is The Other Black Girl. It's a thriller about a Black woman named Nella working in publishing, and she starts to get some strange little threatening notes. And somehow this is, right now we don't really know what that's about. But there's another Black woman who joins the team, and it's a small publishing house. So it's a small group of people named Hazel, who she thinks she's going to have a friendship with, and that thinks that they're going to be buds. And now it seems like Hazel's kind of not really, she doesn't really have her back in a certain way. What's the word or the expression? She seems to be idling for a position in the company, and it doesn't seem to be clear what she's willing to do to get ahead in publishing. So I'll talk more about it when I finish it in the wrap up, but I really wanted to get the UK version because of this cover, because it's so cool. So that's my first in the book depository haul. And what else did I get? Oh, this is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to reading this. I think I'm going to try to read it in May. The Appeal by Janice Hallett. I heard Rosie talk about this on her channel, and I heard a couple of other people talk about it as well. It's supposed to be a fun mystery told in the format of emails back and forth between a group of players in a small theater amateur dramatic society. Okay, so it says, well, it seems as if there are some law students assigned to this case. There's a murder. Some people from out of town are on the scene. But I've heard that what makes this book so charming and fun is that it really gives you some insight into the community theater vibe and the small town vibe, and apparently it's very funny as well. So I'm looking forward to this one, and yeah, I'm really glad I got this I don't know if you, I mean, I'm sure you can get it here now. I picked up the Mercies. Look at this beautiful cover. Again, I really just wanted this for the cover. I really indulged. It was my birthday in March, and I really indulged in making some orders for books, the versions of books that I prefer. If I'm going to own them, I'm going to want them to be ones that I prefer, the covers that I prefer. So this is the Mercies by Kiran, Millwood, Hargrave. This, I saw a couple of different people put this on their best of for 2021. I think it's about a fishing village where all the men die, all the men go missing. Yeah, all the men of the island are out fishing and they perish in an instant because of a storm. And then the society that's left behind is all women. And apparently it's just a really great read. So I'm looking forward to reading this one too. And I think the cover is absolutely beautiful. I know there's another version that's even fancier that has like some imprinting on the pages, and I kind of thought that's what I was getting, but no, that's not what I was getting. I'm sure I would have had to pay more for that. I also ordered The Fell by Sarah Moss. I saw Eric Carl Anderson talk about this. I don't know if he goes by his full name, Eric Carl Anderson. Maybe he just goes by Eric. I'll call you Eric, okay? Eric was talking about this book in one of his videos, one of the many videos that I've watched of his, because I watched practically all of them. She's written 8 novels. So this will be interesting. I like to have an introduction to her work. It's a pandemic story. A woman goes out for a walk. It says, unbearably suspenseful, witty, and wise. The Fell asks probing questions about the place the world has become since March 2020. And the place it was before. Oh yes, I've been craving some pandemic reading. I don't know about anybody else, but I feel like I really need to process what we have all been through. So this, I think, might hopefully help with that. I'm looking forward to it. I think that might be all. Oh, I also ordered Sorrow and Bliss, but I don't have my copy yet because it hasn't been mailed to me because I wanted a specific cover and it's not out in paperback yet. So I guess I'll be talking about Sorrow and Bliss perhaps outside of this book haul. I'll just put up the cover that I really wanted to order. And it's only out in hardback, and I prefer paperback. I prefer paperback, especially if you're ordering it from overseas. I kind of just purchased books at a couple of different points over the course of the last couple of months. Just yesterday, I went and I got my nails done. Look how pretty. I can tell you where I get them done. Ladies, men too, if you're interested. I'm sure we don't discriminate. Okay, so this is Bryan Washington's memorial. I had thought about picking this up a couple of different times and just hesitated because I don't know why. Something was stopping me from picking it up, but then Ben talked about it on his channel and really enjoyed it. Based on his recommendation, I'm going to give it a go. I think it's just a story about love and about family. I'm not reading into too much of the back because I want to let it unfold as I read it, but I grabbed that based on Ben's recommendation. I know it's about a couple, Benson and Mike. And Mike is a Japanese American chef at a Mexican restaurant. Okay, already I've read too much on the back. I'm just gonna wait and see. Let the book speak for itself. I was really happy because this book came out in paperback. It's The Promise, the story of what happens when, I think it's the matriarch of the family, promise to their black maid and on her deathbed, and just what happens as a result of that. This is a really nice cover too. I like this cover with the young girl on the front. And it's a paperback, so I was really happy to see that that had come out in paperback, so I grabbed it, of course, right away. Another one that I was waiting to have come out in paperback is Great Circle by Maggie Shipstead. So many people have read it and are talking about it, and I wanted to pick it up, and I've never read any Maggie Shipstead before. This sounds very much like, a little bit like Taylor Jenkins Reid, about a woman who is playing the part, an actress who's playing the part of this woman who was a pilot in 1914. But I don't know too much more about it than that. And I'm not going to read the back. And I really like this cover as well. It's really beautiful. I think the colors are really pretty on this cover, and it's paperback. So now you know, I like paperback. I like to get the ones with the covers that I like. And I like to find new authors. I mean, a lot of these are going to be new authors for me, which is really, really fun. Speaking of which, I also picked up, based on Eric's recent review, A Long Petal of the Sea. This is about civil war and people living through the civil war in Spain, and I think it's about refugees. I think the people, the characters in the book escape to Chile. A woman who's pregnant and a man, oh, and the brother of her deceased love. Okay, oh, this sounds really good. Wow, which book am I going to start with? You know, I have this problem. You know how they have the saying, your eyes are bigger than your stomach? My eyes are bigger than my brain when it comes to picking up books. And then when I was in the bookstore, I just happened across some books that I had by authors that I had never heard of before. I don't know if anybody else does this. I'm going to do something that I very rarely do. I'm going to look through the stacks in the bookstore and read the spine. I don't like to read the backs of books normally because I like to keep them a surprise, but then I was like, no, I'm going to go out of my comfort zone. I'm going to read the back of these books and I'm going to see if there's anything that interests me, that like actually browse the bookstore for books. And so, yeah, so that was I was very successful. I picked up Silence. I've never read this, but it's a classic about it's about religion and about faith, and yet I'd never heard of it. And look at this amazing cover. Search for truth, perhaps. And I also picked up The Margot Affair, Sanaë Lemoine. She is Japanese French from France, and this book, The Margot Affair, so it's a young girl who's sort of the child of a long-standing love affair. She's hidden away in the shadows, living in a small Parisian apartment on the left bank. Her 17th birthday, and she meets a well-regarded journalist who will set her plan in motion. Sounds really good! And I found it from just browsing through, you know, the shelves at the bookstore. So I'm very pleased about this as well. Oh, my pile's getting high. I think I have like 18 or 19 books to go through to talk about. I talked about Kate Atkinson's case histories when I was doing the booktubes. So I don't know, I've heard just really positive things about it, more thrills than ordinary fiction. Well, that sounds like it's right up my alley. I love a book that's like that. It's one of the reasons why I like Tana French's work so much. I also grabbed in paperback Klara and the Sun. I don't think I need to say too much about this because everyone has spoken about this book on BookTube. You know, it's AI, an AI friend, best friend perhaps. I've heard some people be disappointed and some people still really enjoy this book, but I really wanted to give it a read through anyway. I'm sure it'll be enjoyable even if it's not what everyone was expecting it to be because it was so overhyped. So I'm hoping it will still be a really good read. Well, bonk yourself in the face with the book, why don't ya? Why don't you just bonk yourself in the face with the book? Hey, Nola? Oh, can anybody guess what this book is? Soon to be a motion picture starring Harry Styles and Emma Corrin. Go! Okay, so this book is also, if you want another hint, this book is also inspired by the real-life relationship the novelist E.M. Forster had with a policeman, Bob Buckingham, and his wife, May. My policeman. Yes, it's My Policeman, and it's about a threesome. What? And My Policeman is a deeply heartfelt story of love's passionate endurance and the devastation wrought by a repressive society. Amen! Claire Fuller, like I guess I just am going to buy everything that she's ever written because I picked up a third book of hers and I haven't read the second one that I picked up. This is Bitter Orange. This tells the story. I think this is the one where somebody hears people speaking through the floorboard. Beneath the floorboard in her bathroom, she discovers a peephole, which gives her access to her neighbors' private lives. Woo! I'm sure it's going to be excellent. Oh, and this is an interesting one as well, which I really want to read. It's funny how you discover books. This is a book that I discovered by going to the library, and it's one of the books that I took out from the library but just did not have time to read, and it was really intriguing. I saw it later at the bookstore, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to pick it up because I think I will enjoy this book, and I think it might be worth owning. The book is called Dog Park by Sophie Oksanen, and she is Oksanen a Finnish writer, I think. It's a work of translation. You can tell I've done my research before filming the video. I never do. Everybody must realize that I do not do the research before. I just come on and blabber away. Much to everyone's chagrin, I'm sure. Yes, she's Finnish. I was right. I was just going on instinct. But she is writing about two women who meet on a bench at a dog park, hence the title. And one of them, so it's in Helsinki 2016. That's the time frame. And it moves between modern day Finland and the Ukraine in the early days of its post-Soviet independence. But I really want to read it because I think it will be very interesting. And I just found that at the library. Here's another one that I picked up because I saw it in the bookstore and read the back. And this is a local writer. This is a Montreal writer, Christopher Dorado. I think he's from Montreal. Yeah, Christopher Dorado. See, here's a nice photo of him. Here's a nice photo of Christopher Dorado. It says, Christopher Dorado lives in Montreal, where he is the founder and host of the Violet Hour LGBTQ reading series. Never heard of it. This looks really good. It's called The Family Way and has a little blurb by Anne-Marie MacDonald. A really good book about midwifery, but I've forgotten the name of it. Oh, it was called Fall on Your Knees. Anne-Marie MacDonald, she's from Newfoundland. It says, the year Paul turns 40, his friends Wendy and Eve ask him to help them get pregnant. That's all I need to read is the first sentence on the back of a book. That was enough for me to want to pick this up. And it's a Montreal writer, so I'm really excited about supporting a Montreal writer as an organization in the LGBTQ community. Perfect. Great. Okay, I have 3 more books, y'all. Oh, another Canadian book, because I was really jazzed about this idea of reading Canadian writers. And this, I found out about this. See, you find out about books from all different places. Look at the beautiful cover. Book of Wings, which I heard about on CBC, on the radio. I think it was on like Radio Noon, actually, which is a noontime show here in Montreal where they just get on and talk about stuff. And they had Heather O'Neill every night and Lullabies for Little Criminals. And she was on with her daughter, Arizona, who works at a local bookstore here. So they're like they're local celebrities. And they were talking about books that they recommended. And this was the one that Heather O'Neill recommended. And it's just a little short little novel, but she had such high praise for it that I decided to pick it up. And I wanted to I wanted to support that writer and give it a try. Okay. I also picked up 3 Women by Lisa Tadeo. I know that this was a big deal, #1 bestseller on the New York Times bestseller list, but I kind of missed it. I've never read anything of hers, and I know that her book Animal is out in hardcover, and while I kind of waiting around for that to come out in softcover, I was like, well, why don't I just pick up one of her other books, because I've never read her books before, and I don't know if anyone else has read this, but I'm going to give it a try. I guess it's about 3 women. Stories of 3 women. And then finally, I picked up this nice copy of Persuasion. I don't have any of these. What are these called? Oh my gosh. I don't have any of these vintage classics. This is my first one. Look at the pretty inside. And I don't know. I guess I'm just betting. I'm just betting that Persuasion is going to be the book that makes me like Jane Austen. It's not fair to say I don't like Jane Austen because I've only read Sense and Sensibility, and Sense and Sensibility just did not do it for me. Did not do it for me, y'all. I'm more of a Bronte girl. But it's either this or Northanger Abbey, or I guess Pride and Prejudice, because apparently Pride and Prejudice is the better Sense and Sensibility, but I mean, like, come on. So I'm going to give Persuasion a go. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed. There's a really good quote on the back. You pierce my soul. I am half agony, half hope. I have loved none but you. That's not a bad quote. But you know, we all know what Persuasion is about. It's a story about love. A love that endures the test of time and society with humor, insight, and tenderness. Everything that I've heard the lovers of Jane Austen love Jane Austen for should be presented to me here. That's my hope. my hope and my fervent prayer. All right, it's been a passionate one. I'm back. I'm energized. The spring weather has really energized me. Look at my pretty yellow tulips. I have a new bookshelf. An inherited bookshelf from my dad. I think I'm going to use it as my TBR bookshelf, but I think I'll make a video about it. I've never made one of those bookshelf videos before, so I think that might be kind of fun to do. I will see you all next Sunday in another video. And if it's your first time coming by my channel and you enjoy what you're seeing, please hit subscribe, hit that like button, make a comment in the comments below if you've read any of these books, or if you've heard about any of these books, or if you're excited to read any of these books, or if you hated any of these books. All of the above apply. And I'll see you soon. Bye for now. It says nothing about the author. Are you coming upstairs? Centered on a web of exploitation and the commodification of the female body. So I guess there's something about women and trafficking. I'm still having hair issues, guys. My makeup team and my hair team are, you know, on vacation. Anyway, we'll have to deal with it, everyone. We'll all have to deal with it if I can't get over it, which I don't think I can. Come on, hair.